Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Marie. My business, social media handles, website, and YouTube channel are Mareevuitton. In this series, I'm going to give you the short form videos of the most used how-tos in Studio Designer. These videos are the remake of last year's how-to series, but you may have noticed that Studio Designer got a bit of a facelift in 2025. That prompted me to reshoot all these videos to help the new users because the screen is going to look a bit different. Okay, the processes and teachings, my tips and tricks remain the same. But again, I just want to make sure that I reshoot them because of the way that it looks different on screen. Okay, so as always, please leave your feedback and questions in the comment section and be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you found the video useful. Subscribe to stay updated. Now let's dive in. In this video, we're going to go over how to resolve client issues. Okay. One of the things that really is important is to make sure that you have your ducks in a row before being able to approach any client issue. Okay, so typically I always want to start with three things, okay? And I've already pulled up the reports. If you need help on how to pull up the reports, I have videos on that. So I'm going to just pull them on the screen real quick because I already have them pulled up. I want to look at the cash receipts report. I want to know how much money has this client paid in. Obviously, I'm working with a really old project. I should probably redate these. However, for the sake of training, this client has paid in roughly just under $30,000, right? So I always double check the amounts that you see here by the dates of the payments. I mean, obviously, we're working in past tense. However, I just like to make sure that the bank recs are current and that we, in fact, did receive all monies shown, right? So if we're behind on bank recs, then I want to verify, anything that hasn't been confirmed on a bank rec. Okay, so then in this case, I'm going to say this is bankable. That's what I call bankable numbers. Like anything that's bankable means like we've verified that it's cleared. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to pull would be the project. I want to know what's on the project. So I pull a project worksheet, which would be right here. Let's put it right here. Hopefully that can be seen. There we go. So now you have these two reports. And then the last thing I want to pull is a profitability worksheet. It's a worksheet that's internal, but here it is. Because I want to know what, if any, where, if any, do I have wiggle room? Meaning, where are we losing and where are we making money? Okay. And I kind of start here because this is going to be the foundation of any issue that the client could have. Okay. Typically once we know that this is the amount that they've paid in, and I usually also take one more step. Let me move these out of the way. I go into money in, okay, $ icon, money in, and I'm here. I pull up the client, and here you can also see funds received, the amount that's paid on items that have not been invoiced, okay, that's why it says proposal deposits, and then invoice payments. There is no funds available, meaning there is no retainer on file. Okay, so you can see that there are small amounts due still. They do have a balance due because they have no more funds available. Okay, and it's, I don't know, just under $500 or something. Okay, and then there are items that have not yet been invoiced and probably should. I typically will look at them and determine whether they may be a go or not. Sometimes you don't know, but in a case like this, storage fees, probably yes, because we did get all the other items and we're nearing the end of the project. Receiving and delivery, well, if this bathroom vanity really was a go, then it is in fact going to be doing payable, right? I'd probably look into it. However, I kind of like to keep tabs on everything that's going on, and before I make the call or respond to a client. Okay. And if it becomes a case of, I paid this or that, because I know that sometimes, what you need to know about these items on a project is when you apply funds like client payments or vendor payments to the item, that kind of signals things. So those are the cues of whether something's a go and what's happening here. Okay, so you can unapply and reapply, but the funds follow the item. So if the item comes off the proposal and it doesn't matter, it's still going to follow the item. Okay, so these are things to be mindful of when you are making things inactive. Okay, there shouldn't be any client payments, and if there are, it should have been fully processed. So the numbers would still tie, because this right here is telling them every item that they've paid money to. So of your $28,000 that you paid in, this is where everything went to. Okay. And in a case like this, I probably would double check if this vanity dresser is really that price. Okay, it might have just been for training, but I would look at that. So I typically would tell them, well, okay, if they think that these should be allocated differently, they can just let you know where they want to put it. And if they wanted to say $5 here, $5 here, $20 here, and break it all up to equal that, they can do that. And then we can just redistribute it. But it doesn't change the total that the balance due would be, right? So if there's any questions about what I've said, leave them in the comments below. Thanks.